Hello, Facebook family. Come on in, YouTube. If you're on, come on in. High Capacity Woman, come on in. I just want to have a few words with you as we end this year, 2021, and we go into 2022. So when you hop on and when you're in, please comment. Let me know that you're in. Say hello. I hope you all had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope that you had a great time over the weekend. Hi, Carla Andrews, my bestie. I just love her. You know what? I'm going to be talking about some things for a few minutes, but I just want to give a special shout out to Carla. Hi, Faith. I want to give a special shout out because you need people in your life that you can just pick up the phone and call and they're on point. That Carla, you're my girl. I love you. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. Mary Brown, hello. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'm not going to be long today, but there's some things that I want to come and encourage. Thank you. I want to encourage you and I want to challenge you. So we're just going to be here for a few minutes in those areas to thank you, to challenge you, and to encourage you. All right. So you all come on in. I know we're ending 2021 and it has been a challenging year. But there are great things that have happened in 2021. And so I want to talk to us about these next few days and how to really sit and have some assessment and reflection on what has happened in 2021. How have you changed in 2021? Tell us how you've changed in 2021 or if you've changed in 2021, because we need to be thinking about how we're moving forward. Hi, Faith. It's good to see you. Oh, I see your family is absolutely gorgeous. And Deborah, I haven't talked to you in a while, so it is so good to see you. So I'm going to get started because it is 12:30, and I want to make sure that we honor everyone's time. So as you come in, just say hello so that I know you're here. I want to first start out by saying thank you. Thank you for those this year that I've had. Hi, Arlene. Barbados, is good to see you. Those that I have had the opportunity to coach this year, those that I've had the opportunity to interact with this year, my Breaking Margins community, that was my business community. I want to thank you this year. As much as value as you say I added to you, you added so much more value to me. I want to thank my high capacity women and my high capacity women's group. I want to thank you. Hi, Anthony. Good to see you. I want to thank all of you this year. And I want to, because I think it's important to go back and say thank you. It's important. It's important to always, hi, Charlene. Good to see you. Oh my God. Some of you I haven't talked to in a while. It's so great to see you. It's always important to go back and say thank you. So I want to thank you because whether it's been through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or some other way, you all have been a critical part of my community and to help grow me in so many ways that you probably don't even know. So that's the first thing. I wanted to say thank you. Secondly, I wanted to encourage you. I wanted to encourage you that 2022 is greater. It is the year of greater for you. It really is. However, that's going to be incumbent upon what we do and what we believe going into 2022. So I want you to, the challenges that you faced in 2021, the obstacles that you faced in 2021, I want you to sit down and think, how has this grown me? Or have I allowed it to grow me? Or am I in a place where I'm stuck? And any place that you are going into 2022 is going to be a year of greater. I'm so glad. Hi, Darlene. I'm so glad to see millennials on here today. And I want to thank you for showing up because really, I have dealt with and worked with some millennials this year that are absolutely fabulous, some Gen Xers, and so I want to really encourage you. I want to encourage you to do a couple of things. I want to encourage you for 2022 to get really focused. That's number one. I want you to get focused on that thing that you are called to do. And we're going to talk about being gawkers, okay? I want to encourage you to focus on the thing that you're called to do, the thing that you have a heart to do. Secondly, I want you to understand that you were never called to do it alone. You were never called to do it alone, but you have to find people and communities that are in alignment with who you are and what it is that you're trying to do. That's number two. And number three, I want you to have the faith and the belief in yourself that you can actually do it. And number four, I want you to find people or person or community that challenges you and that holds you accountable, not to what they want you to do, but for what you said you want to do in your life. Hi, Kamika. It's so good to see you. That accountability is extremely important. And what it does, it allows you to see, where am I going to receive that accountability? Where am I going to be in alignment with people that are going in the same direction? Now, let me say this to you. It can be scary because there are places that you are called to enter into in 2022 where you may be a little intimidated. And let me say, being a little intimidated is not necessarily bad. It just means that you're uncomfortable because you are reaching outside of your comfort zone and you're reaching into a new place with new people, some people that you already know, that may challenge you at a next level that you're not being challenged at now. I want to say to you, I don't care if you are a millennial, I don't care if you're a traditionalist, get outside of your generation. Get outside of your generation. Cicero, the philosopher Cicero said, he who only knows his own generation remains a child. And it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're 70, it doesn't matter if you're on here, you're 30, you're 25. So make sure that you are crossing generations, because if you are not, you are leaving so much wisdom behind in reference to getting where it is that you're going. Okay. So I want you to make sure that you do that. Be very particular this year. I just did an ebook called Destiny Circle, and it's the 6 people that you need in your life, how to attract, identify, attract, and engage with the 6 people that you need in your life to succeed. And that's really to get to purpose. All right. You have to be intentional about who you're engaging with. But a couple of weeks ago, my husband and I were traveling. We were going to Washington, D.C. in the car, and we entered this backup, right? And I said to him, oh, man, there must be an accident ahead of us because, we have this backup of traffic. And he said, no, actually, there's no accident ahead of us. He said, if you look on the other side of the highway, there's an accident over there. We are in Gawker traffic. And I thought about that. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I thought, how many of us are gawkers? That we are in traffic, we're stuck, we're slowed down. And really it's because we are so focused on what's happening in somebody else's lane that we stop, because the definition of a gawker is a person who stops and stares. So each person in that line that stops and stares, it slows down traffic to the point where you think that the lane that you're in, that there is some accident or something that's happened ahead of you, and there really hasn't. It's just that you are in a crowd of people who have decided to be gawkers. You've got to really look around and see, am I with people who are gawkers? It doesn't mean they're not nice. They are wonderful people. They're not malicious people. They are great people. They're great to have fun with. But in terms of moving you to where you want to be, are they gawkers? And I want to talk to you about because gawkers they're not always obvious. Okay. Now it was very obvious initially to him that this was gawker traffic. To me, initially, it wasn't obvious. I thought that maybe there was an accident ahead. He said, no. And as I looked ahead in the lane that we were in, I realized, no, there's no accident there. Because at a certain point, the traffic took off again after people finished gawking. So when you are in gawker traffic with people who are gawkers, it is going to slow you down. You don't necessarily get to where you want to go or where you need to go. And you wondered what happened, because I entered into this place with people who are gawkers. And sometimes it's fun. It's fun to be, a gawker, to slow down and watch and see what everybody else is doing. But is your attention being diverted from what you are supposed to be doing? So just remember, as you're going into 2022, you need to find your people for the year. It is so easy with social media and with everything that's offered on the internet for us to be all over the place. And there was one time in my business, in my life, where, it was the shiny object. It was, okay, what's happening today? What's happening over there? Oh, so and so's doing that. Oh, this looks great. Just because you can do it, it doesn't mean you should. And I learned that, and I want to pass that. If you don't remember anything else today, remember to thank you. And remember, just because you can do it, it doesn't mean you should do it. So this year, for those of you who are people of faith, take the next couple of days, really pray, ask God what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Think of the talents and abilities that He's given you. Whatever it is, if there's something that comes up in your mind that scares you, all right? I'm the truth teller. If it comes in your mind and it scares you, don't just pass by it. And then I want you to think of what sacrifices am I willing to make going into 2022 that I wasn't willing to make in 2021. And because I wasn't willing to make those sacrifices, I'm not where I could have been at the end of this year. I want you to really, really think about it. Sometimes we get into places and we stay because it's comfortable. It becomes comfortable for us. We like the people. We like what it is we're doing. But it doesn't challenge us to go to the next place. And when I say challenge, I don't mean just showing up. Because people will say, Bob, I showed up. I'm like, well, showed up to me means you showed up physically, you showed up emotionally, you showed up financially, you showed up sacrificially, you showed up with your time and with your energy. We all have 168 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day. You have to decide, my friends, in 2022, what are you going to do with your time? But more importantly, who are you going to spend your time with? Because it's going to determine your output and your results in 2022. You need to have people in your life that can look at you, that you give permission to, that can look at you and can challenge you beyond where you are. They have respect for you. They love you. They see that there is a promise in you, but they are not willing to come into agreement with any excuses that you make for why you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's who you need to be looking for in 2022. You do not want to be a gawker. It's comfortable. Hi, Keisha from Barbados. It's good to see you. You do not want to be that person in 2022. And let me say this. As we grow, when we first start out, when people challenge us, no matter what our personality is, sometimes our feelings are hurt. Yeah, for those of you who know, if you're married or if you have a best friend and you can really talk to, sometimes your friend will say something to you or a person will say something to you that will rub you the wrong way. It'll hurt your feelings a little bit, and they may not even know it. Because sometimes it's because it's challenging you in an area where no one in your life has dared challenge you, and you've become comfortable. And what I'm saying to you is that in order to go to that next place in 2022, you need people around you who will challenge you, and you will allow them into that space, because a lot of it has to do with who you allow into your space. You allow them into that vulnerable space where they will challenge you. And you know that at the end of the day, they are Team Keisha, they're Team Darlene, they're Team Doris, they're Team Kamika, they are Team Anthony, they are Team Faith, they are Team you. And the challenge doesn't mean they don't think you have the skill set, they don't think that you're able, they don't believe in your dream. It means that this is a person in my life who I have given permission to challenge me in this area. And every single one of us need those people. I constantly look for those people. I constantly look for those people. A person in my life now who doesn't challenge me doesn't really do me any good in reference to where I want to go. They don't. Hi, Denise. How are you? It's been a minute. Yes. If they don't challenge me and they're scared to challenge me for whatever reason, they can't help me go where I need to go. I need the person that's going to challenge me, the people that are going to challenge me in my life. So I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to be able to identify the gawkers in your life, or whether or not you're a gawker, because sometimes we don't recognize we are in your life, that you're stopping and you're staring and you've really gotten stuck staring, but it kind of feels good. Okay. And this is how you will know. If you're a gawker, hey, Rosemary Collins, how are you? If you're a gawker, you're not moving, you're not moving much. You're not moving much. Number two, everyone is having the same conversation. And the same conversation that we're having doesn't challenge us in our thought process. It doesn't challenge us in our life process. It doesn't challenge us in what we're doing or what we should be doing or what we say we want to do. I now only hold people accountable to what they say they want to do. So it's never something now, because I used to be like, no, I thought you should do so and so. But now I hold people accountable to what they said they want to do. And I bring it back to them in that term. You know, you told me you want to do so and so. And then I'll ask them, how is that going? What's your next step? Have you done that? And let me say this, no matter who we all need that. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and she's a colleague. Hi, George. It's good to see you. And she was saying one of the things that is difficult for people, and the reason why a lot of people don't grow is because we're not willing to go back to learn new things. And it reminded me really of something that TD Jake said. He said they were asking him, how have you been able to constantly reinvent yourself and continue to do what you do? He said, because most people, when they get to a 10, the 10 being that they become pretty much an expert in what they're doing, they like being the expert, so they stay at the 10. He said, I'm willing to go back to number 1, to the ground floor, to learn something new, to rise above that. You have to ask yourself, is it more important for you to be the know-it-all in your circle, in your group? Because what happens is you end up with gawkers. They're just staring. Is it more important for you to be that number 1 person, that person at the top of the realm in your group? Or is it more important for you to continue to learn, continue to take in, and continue to grow? If you find people who are so enamored with their own expertise and who they are and their accomplishments in their life, they're at a 10 and they're going to stay at a 10 in that area. But guess what? They're also a gawker. They're also a gawker because they are very accomplished. They're very experienced. They look around and see what other people are doing, and they're not going to cross over into anything new for them because they don't want to go down to being the one to saying, I don't know this. And George, I'd like to learn this from you. So be careful, because gawkers can be people who appear, and they appear very accomplished in their field, in their life, and what they're doing, but they are in a comfortable space and they're planning to stay there. The other thing I will say to you, if you're looking to identify gawkers, you will always identify a gawker by their language and what they say. So gawkers will usually complain. They will complain about what is, but they are not a part of the solution. All right? They will complain and they're able to identify everything that's wrong, but they're not a part of the solution. When you see that, you know you're dealing with a gawker. If you hear someone talking about constantly their haters and people who are hating on them and trying to prevent them from moving forward, you have a gawker. And what the gawker is doing is the gawker is staring at other people, and they're giving reasons for why they are not able to move, or why they are not able to allow people to challenge them in certain areas of your life. If you are going to grow, you are going to have to get out of the gawkers, and you're going to have to make sure that you allow people to challenge you in your life. So as you move into 2022, I have sat down, I have done my reflection. I've made the corrections and the course corrections that I need to make for 2022. I'm excited about what's ahead. I'm hoping that you have a great Christmas, that you had a great time with your family. Celebrate as you come into 2022, but don't be a gawker. We have a lot of challenges in our educational system. I want to thank Councilman George Copeland, who is in Saginaw just doing his thing. But not only George, I appreciate you doing your thing. One of the things I really appreciate that's different about George, that I have not seen other people do, is to come back from those council meetings and to give people that information. That's extra time for him. This is extra time from his family, but he has been giving that and communicating that information and saying, here, this is what you can do. George, I wanted to shout out to you and let you know I appreciate that. Everyone else, I want to say, what is it that you can do with what you have? You are not stuck because of what you don't have. You are stuck because you are not willing to use what you do have. And you're not willing to make the sacrifice so that you are not a gawker. So George, Rosemary, Denise, Keisha, all of you that's on here today, I appreciate you. I want you to celebrate, be safe as you go into 2022. Do not act like we are not in a pandemic and it does not exist. Be safe, love your community. And as you go into 2022, I want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. But whatever you do, don't be a gawker. What was my closeout process, Darlene? My closeout process for the year, that's a great question. My closeout process for the year was to sit down and to think about what I did this year and who I did it with and how I did it. What did I do? Who did I do it with? And how did I do it? And then I sat down and I looked at the results of what I did this year. Okay, because a lot of times we continue to do things because we like it and we continue to do things because we can do it. But we ask ourselves, what are the results? What are the results of this year? And so as I looked at those three things, it also allowed me to see where I spent my time. Where did I spend my time where there was a return on investment? And return on investment is not necessarily money to me. Return on investment means I saw that person move from here to there. I saw that person move from A to C. Because if I spent time with a person during the year and they made no movement whatsoever, that's not a good return on my investment. And every single person on here, you are responsible for your time. And you are responsible for if there's a return on your investment. You are looking as a leader. Everybody that's on here, I know you are leaders. You are looking to multiply. Leadership should multiply. If it does not multiply, it is not a good investment. How many of you will continue to put money into a stock and 10 years later, the stock has never increased? You know, you would start looking for some other stock, I would hope, okay? It's the same thing with our time. Time is something you're not going to get back. So invest it well. Money, you know, I may give money someplace that may not be such a great return on my investment. I can make more money, but I'm not going to make more time. So, you know, Darlene, my process was to sit down and to really assess those things and be real with myself. The other thing is to have someone else who you can talk to, who can give you an unbiased thought in reference to what you're doing. So you may think you're doing something that's great, and that person will challenge you in terms of just asking you a question. They're not there to tell you, no, Darlene, you shouldn't do that, or Barbara, you shouldn't do that. But they're there to ask you a question that makes you stop and think, this was my intention going in. Is it that I need to stay in this lane and do something a little differently? Or do I need to get out of this lane? Hi, Sherry. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. So if I give my time to you, it speaks volumes in terms of what I think of you, of what I think your potential is. Money, yep, I'm careful about what I do with my money, but I'm more careful now about what I do with my time. So I want you to think about that as you close the year out. Do your own assessment. I am wishing all of you a great new year and a prosperous new year, not only monetarily, but in your health, in your business, in your family. Think about those things that are important to you and make sure you're making the investment there. This is Barbara Littles. I want you to go to my website. I'm going to be making some changes in the next couple of weeks. There are a couple of things that I'm adding to the website. One of the things that I'm adding for women and men you can go into and get the information called Lady Justice. Lady Justice. You know, when you look at the justice, and you know that my background is legal. When you look at the justice symbol, you see the lady with the blindfold, and she's holding the scales of justice. And I always say that justice is blind, but women, you do not need to be blind about legal issues in your life and things that you need to look at in your life as you're navigating through life. You know, you're navigating through parents that, maybe getting older. You're navigating through your marriage where you may be an empty nester, or maybe where your children are growing up. You need to assess and say, okay, are things in place for me? Are things in place for my children? If something were to happen today, who knows who has access to my home? Who has access to things? Who knows what to do? That's what I'm going to be doing with Lady Justice. Because I think there are so many things that we get involved with as women, and that we do over time. And men, please feel free to go in and get the information also. But that will start this month in January, and every month I will actually do a piece that is a legal issue that you need to consider in your life in order to make your life move as smoothly as possible. So Lady Justice is going to be new. Mentoring moments, I've been doing this whole year. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can see the mentoring moments. They're only 3 to 6 minutes, but they're very valuable in terms of mentoring. There are a lot of people that say they don't have a mentor. And then there is a free calendar. All of this is free on the website. And all of it will be there. Some of it's not there now, but it will be there in the next 2 weeks. So I want you to go there. There is going to be a calendar there, a 2022 planner that you can pick up. There also is going to be, I'm going to be doing more this year on negotiation, especially for women. Research shows that women negotiate just as well as men, except for when it comes to ourselves. The website, Deborah, is Barbara M, as in Mary, Littles.com. Make sure you put the S on Littles and the M in the middle, okay? BarbaraMLittles.com. I would say for you to look, if you look around the 15th of the month, you will see all of the new stuff that's on there, but you can go there now and sign up and begin to get the mentoring moments and the things that will help you as you move into 2022. All right. So that will cost you nothing. It'll just cost you time. I'm trying this year to populate a lot of my website with information and teaching and interaction and coaching that's really free information, so that there is no excuse for you being a gawker in 2022. Okay. All right. I love you all. Have a great new year. Be safe, and I'll see you on the other side of 2022. God bless you. Bye-bye.